one car at a time, one pollutant at a time, one plastic bottle after another. One by one, we've created a global environmental crisis. And one by one, we can make it better. The College of Social Work, University of South Carolina, is going green in its policies, practices, and curriculum.
We are kicking off this effort of going green with the College of Social Work by partnering with Sustainable Carolina, and our first step is to earn the Green Office certification. One of the examples is that we would encourage and increase our recycling at the College of Social Work in our classrooms and in our offices. And those are done using the mini bin system. These are the small blue recycling bins, and they have attached to them a smaller mini bin for waste, for trash. And the idea is that you produce more recyclable materials than you do trash. Each of these is going to be the responsibility of the person at the desk to remove and put in a central location for trash and recycling. So we do need everyone's cooperation in this, but if we all do a small part, we can make a big difference.
In the U.S., 29 billion plastic water bottles are produced each year. It takes about 1/10 as much energy to recycle plastics as it does to create plastic from raw materials. Recycling plastic would make a big impact. Only 8% of plastics are recycled. And remember those 29 billion plastic bottles in the U.S.? More than 19 billion of them are thrown away each year. Producing recycled paper saves water, trees, and uses 60% of the amount of energy required to make paper from fresh wood pulp.
Another phase in this initiative has to do with thinking about our curriculum. And it's going to be really important to have content around sustainability infused throughout the curriculum, not just an elective, but part of our entire curriculum, because this is important to all social workers. And that could include things like, how do you do an assessment of a person's environment in a practice class? Or have a case example in a policy class that has to do with environmental justice. There's a range of ways we can do this, but it's really important we think about how to make it part of the mainstay of the curriculum. This is something that I think it's really important for the college to take a leadership role in for a couple of reasons. First, social work is all about thinking about person in the environment, and that includes the built environment. So as part of our interventions, we need to be thinking about the quality of a person's environment and how that affects their well-being. We also need to think about it because we're advocates. We're advocates for making sure that resources are allocated fairly, and that includes natural resources. So we need to know and we need to be able to advocate for the fact that our natural resources are being distributed fairly amongst people, particularly vulnerable individuals. And finally, because vulnerable individuals and vulnerable communities are oppressed in lots of ways, and one of those is in terms of environmental pollution. And we need to be able to advocate for those populations. And we need to be teaching our students to be prepared for this in the 21st century.
Populations who are already oppressed and vulnerable are disproportionately dumped upon and receive the burden of our waste globally. When we try to remove natural resources from the environment, such as minerals, oils, those processes often create contamination and pollution in the environment. The people that live in those areas are often affected by that. They have different health problems, and maybe they aren't able to grow food in those polluted areas. It really affects their way of life.
The human concerns in the sustainability movement are the same concerns that sparked the social work profession.
The social work profession in the United States began during the Industrial Revolution, when there were many health and social problems, but those problems were typically related to the physical environment, the built environment, the pollution that was caused by so many people moving into the cities, the lack of waste management, the lack of green spaces for children to play in parks, and it really caused a lot of problems. So the pioneers in social work dealt with those problems just as they did with social problems in the family or in the community.
The connection between the global environmental crisis and social justice is so central to social work that national and international organizations address them in codes of ethics and policies.
So the College of Social Work really is a leader on the campus at USC as one of the first departments to go green, to work with the faculty, staff, and students to infuse ecological consciousness. It relates so perfectly to the mission of the College of Social Work with our social justice values, and we really need everyone's help to go green.